Hey guys, welcome back. I just got over my cold, or at least I'm on the tail end of it, thankfully, so I probably sound a little stuffy still. But I wanted to continue my collection video. I'm still working on all the footage I got from the first strike event. I got a lot of footage, like 5-6 hours to go through, so yeah, that's going to take some time to get to. So gameplay footage I'll have to wait, but I'm continuing the collection video of mine. So first I did the MP5s, and it was actually kind of funny. I did a video on all 6 MP5s I have, and then I go to the First Strike op in Oregon, and I pick up another MP5. So that's number 7. Literally a day after I filmed that video, I go buy another one. And it kills me inside that I went and spent the money. And I'm still kicking myself for spending more money on Airsoft when I have way too many guns as it is. So, time to sell some. But anyway, today we're going to go over the kind of odd guns. They don't really fit a particular category. So it's like a gun that I have one of. I don't have a number of that model or something. So the 4 guns we're going over today are, well, I'll take them one at a time here. First one's the Echo 1 RDP. This is based on the Spectre by Sights. Really cool little nifty gun. Got this from Brian from Echo 1 from Jag a while back. It's kind of a, hey, go check this out, really fun little gun. And I've put actually a little bit of work into it. So I picked up one of the thread adapters here for the muzzle and put one of the Angel Custom suppressors on it. It's got acoustic felt in there for drum cymbals, and it's actually quite quiet when it shoots. I don't have a battery in it right now, but let's take my word for it. Internally, it is completely stock. Mandible orange bucking still. Just tuned it. Just threw a sorbo pad in there to correct angle of engagement. Re-shimmed it, of course. It's actually very quiet to begin with. Very, very quiet. Like no gear noise quiet. So I did a little bit of tightening on the shimming, and actually picked up one of these stock adapters. A good buddy of mine custom manufactured these. They are 3D printed and they are fantastic quality. So actually, this is a G&G SOP mod stock, and it's wired to the back here. So I just put a stick LiPo in here. It's no longer wired to the front. As you can see, I've got rails on here. They're custom installed. I just did some tapping and drilling because it's plastic. It's not that hard. And originally I had a PEC box on here. That's why I have the top cut out, because I put a MOSFET right there. But now it just looks kind of cool because it's all vented. I'm hoping eventually, the same guy is working on a rail mount for optics. It's going to replace the rear sight, so it just drops in and screws in. And I'm really looking forward to that. That is going to be cool. Hopefully that gets done eventually. Not a big deal if it doesn't, because the range on this is really good. But the accuracy, once you get out to the 150 foot mark, yes, it does go out that far. Starts to open up a little bit. I mean, the barrel's that long. What can you do? I'm hoping eventually to see a mag adapter too. The same guy was working on an MP5 mag adapter for this, and hopefully that follows through. You know, it takes a while to design something like that and test it and make sure that all the measurements are good. So hopefully that happens eventually, but we'll see. Second on my list is actually something that is out of production now, which is unfortunate because this is a really cool little gun. This is a D-Boys PDW. A number of manufacturers have made this. Bravo is pretty much the same thing. What other companies? What's it called? The infamous Lancer Tactical has picked up one of these. It's essentially the same thing, a metal D-Boys. But with different markings, of course. So this is the old discontinued one with the Knights trades, which is actually quite cool. It's got the Knights Armament logo there. I've done a little bit of work to the internals, but actually it's still mostly stock because they shoot surprisingly well. I think I dropped a modified flat top in here, so the range is fantastic. I get like 200 feet out of it, and it only shoots 360 feet per second. But the downside of that is I have to use like 2 8s or 3s with it, otherwise it just goes straight up with that flat hop. Aside from that, original barrel's still in it. Good accuracy, I'm happy with it. Don't want to spend 30 or 50 bucks on a new one. Original metal hop-ups in there. Just shimmed and tuned the gearbox. Otherwise it's totally stock. And actually I did install some easier to work with wiring, because the original wiring in there, the connection point from installation of the lower to the upper was kind of a pain, because they're kind of a quick disconnect, and one of them was really loose. So I did that. PEC box running a 7.4 stick on there. Got your flip up sight. Still came with it, which is really nice to have these still. And I installed a standard M4 grip on here because the original one was A, missing a motor plate, and B, took a medium motor. It's the short grip. And I didn't have any medium motors, and I really didn't feel like cutting one down and getting the height right. Plus, I didn't have the proper motor plate, like I said. So, grabbed a standard pistol grip. I think this is a G&G, if I'm not mistaken. And I put an SHS speed motor in it. So, with a 7.4 LiPo and a speed motor, I get like 20 rounds a second out of this thing. It's really fast, so people hate me, which is super fun. You run out there and you're shooting down a hill and reaching 200 feet at 20 rounds a second. And it's just this wave of BBs, and it's really funny. It's incredibly fun with this gun. So it's compact, it's light. I never fold the stock, but I did put the paracord wrapping on here I like to do. I did this to my Echo One AK700, and I love the look and the feel of it. It's very comfortable on a cheek weld too. So that's the gist of it. The only thing I haven't got, yes, that. I forgot that was there. It's an MP5 to M4 mag adapter, or vice versa, I suppose. Originally, I had some feeding issues. I was using a number of different mags, and I continually had feeding issues. They didn't quite seat up in the mag well very well, so I'd have to kind of hold the mag in there, and it was just kind of a pain. So I grabbed one of these Angel Custom M4 to MP5 mag adapters. So I can actually take this out with my MP5s and just run MP5 mags all day. And it shoots great. No feeding issues. I'm quite happy with it. Next up, we're going up in size a little bit. These first two guns were kind of small, so we're getting a little bit bigger. This is a Classic Army G3 SG1. I've got this gun maybe 2 years ago now, and I've been wanting to turn it into a really unique DMR. I'm just taking my time with it. I want to rush into it. So it's been sitting on my wall for a while. I tuned it. I put a basic FET in there, and it sounds great, shoots great. It just doesn't shoot very hot. Have the stock spring in there, so it shoots a little over 300 feet per second, so pretty soft, not even close to a DMR spec at all. But I did take the cheek riser off because I wanted a specific scope mount for it, that really tall Marui quick detach claw mount you really can't find anymore. So I'm waiting to try and find one of those and find a nice scope for it. So until then, I wanted to be able to run it as a rifle and be able to line up with the iron sights really well. Because to be honest, with that cheek riser, it's tough. It's really meant to have a scope. And of course I took the bipod off because when you grip it with that bipod, it's really wide grip. It just really got on my nerves. So until I DMR it, I'm gonna leave that off. Internally, it's mostly stock. I had a completely tough time finding a bucking that would fit properly in there because it's a really weird fit. So the only one I found that would fit very well and got me a good FPS was the ICS stock bucking, actually. So I grabbed a couple of those, and voila, it shoots fantastically well. So this will be a future DMR project eventually. Lastly, this is my JG Bartend. This is a more recent acquisition. I think I've had it for roughly a year now. I totally just went to town on it. It's by no means the most heavily upgraded gun. A lot of the guys I snipe with, they put $600–700 into their gun. I put about maybe $400 to $450 of parts in it, and then the gun was another $120 or so. And then the scope, of course, I already had this with like $80 to $100 on e-bike. I believe it's a something or other. It's a 3.5 to 10, and it's a red-green illumination. So I can't remember the brand. It was probably a Matrix brand or something. But internally, I've got, I know you guys are gonna hate me for this, but Angel Custom Trigger Sear. It's the Zero trigger from them. And you know what? I haven't had any issues with it. I ran a 170 spring on it for last 10 months or so and never had an issue. You know, you read all these forums about how bad Angel Custom is and all this stuff, and we've tried a number of their parts, and a lot of us as snipers on the NBR team don't have issues with them for the most part. So we're pretty happy with them. We've been running a lot of the Angel Custom triggers, zero issues. I'm sure we'll have issues eventually, but nothing yet. I think, actually, I take that back. We had one issue where one of the springs broke, but that's, you know, what can you do? There's plenty of replacement springs out there, and so we'll just throw one of those in. The bolt itself, or the cylinder itself, is totally stock, but I do have a new piston. I actually dropped it to a 150 spring. We're trying to be a little nicer than, you know, shooting 600 plus with these, because most fields don't like 600 plus. So we got it down to about 540, 550 for most of our guns. So like I said, 150 spring, new spring guide. Got a new nozzle. It's a PPS nozzle. It's got a little O-ring on the end. It seals really, really nicely. Chamber-wise, barrel, hop-up. It's actually a really good combination. I got a KM head 604 barrel. A lot of you are going to be like, 604, But no, this actually has been a really nice barrel. It's a Teflon coated barrel, and I got the matching bucking. It is a 50-55 degree. It's a rather soft bucking, but I found it's actually very consistent still. So I can go and ping someone at 250 feet every shot, no problem, which is kind of the minimum you want out of a gun like this. So it's shooting really nicely. Got the maple leaf concave nub and the Action Army hop-up chamber, which allows you to, it's kind of like a top-down center mod almost, but it's already in the hop-up. So it works really well. You got to take the mag out to adjust the hop-up every time, but it's really not a big deal. We've had a huge amount of success with these with all the snipers we built on my team, and they shoot really nicely. So this is shooting really well. I have it shooting roughly 390 with 4 threes. So it's, a lot of fields won't like it, but we used to have a 600 FPS limit at our field. We drop it to 550 to be a little safer. And I think most fields around here are about the 550 limit anyway. There's a couple that are the 600-ish still, but that's kind of a tentative speed limit. But that really wraps it up. Those are the 4 guns in my collection that are kind of the oddballs that don't really fit a particular string or model of guns that I have. So pretty cool. Look forward to more of these videos in the future. I do have, this probably covers 2/3 of my collections. I don't really have a ton more to go. But keep an eye out. I'll hopefully have another 1 or 2 of these videos to come shortly. Thanks guys. Take it easy.